Great, thanks very much, and thanks to Resource Rising Stars for the opportunity to present today. So I'll tell you a little bit about Bellevue Gold. Some of you may be familiar with it. It was a brand new discovery not that long ago, only a few years ago, and we've taken it from being a virgin new discovery in Western Australia to now we've grown it to 3 million ounces of gold at nearly 10 grams per tonne. So it's one of the highest grade gold projects on the planet, and we've gone through all our feasibility study work, our funding, and now we're into development and we're on track. Well, in fact, we're, as you'll see from this presentation, we're actually doing better on time, on budget than was predicted in the study work, and we'll be in first gold in the second half of next year. So there's normal disclaimers to read in your own time, and everything is obviously on the ASX platform. So as I said, we're located in Western Australia. 3 million ounces of gold has been delineated so far. The project is very much open in every direction. It's starting to really show those world-class characteristics about it. We'll be producing over 200,000 ounces of gold a year, year in, year out for the first 5 years, and then a 1.8 million ounce life of mine. So that's over 10 years mine life, and you'll continue to see that grow as well. And obviously being such high grade with the infrastructure all there, it's very low all-in sustaining costs as well. So we'll be producing gold in the lowest quartile in Australia and in the planet, and down towards that sort of $1,000, $1,100 Australian an ounce range. In the presentation today, you'll hear me talking a fair bit about growth, and that's one of the exciting things about this project. It really is growing in every direction. Just in the last 12 months, we've added 25% to the reserve base. We've added 25% to the life of mine, and so now we're at $2 billion of free cash flow that this project will be generating. And what does that mean? It means it's about $250 million of free cash flow every year, year in, year out. And of course, that is a huge amount of money. It's spitting out cash, and we certainly won't be able to spend that amount of money on exploration. So I'm sure in the next few years, you're going to be hearing us talking about dividends and how we'll be paying that out to shareholders. The project is de-risked. We're fully funded. We have $277 million in cash and debt, and the debt is with Tier 1 banking group, Macquarie Bank. We'll be looking to draw down on that in the next few weeks, actually. We're excited by that. And obviously, talk of the town is inflation at the moment and costs going up around the world. Well, what we've done, we've locked in all of our costs, so we're 90% complete on all of those capital and expenditure costs. So we've locked that in to de-risk ourselves. The other thing we've done is we have Tier 1 operators working for us, and I'll talk about them a little bit later in the presentation. So we have GR Engineering Services, one of the premier mine builders in Western Australia and globally, doing all the work for us. And I've got a couple of slides on them shortly. And we also have Develop Global with Bill Beaumont and his ex-Northern Star team there on site doing all of the underground work for us. And so we're certainly well and truly on track, on time, on budget for first gold. Now this slide is pretty much hot off the press a few days ago. 2 weeks ago that was all flat dirt. We've got the ROM pad over on the right-hand side and the crusher, the plant will be in the middle there. Obviously on the left-hand side is where all the tanks are going. You can see the administration area in the north there. And of course, it's a very stock standard GR engineering project, and the fact that it's a 1 million tonne per annum processing plant, standard CIL, just normal conventional metallurgy there. It can be easily upscaled to 1.2 million tonnes for literally no extra cost. And the important thing to take away here is there's plenty of space, and we've designed this so this can be upscaled to 1.5 million tonnes per annum using cash flow very early on the piece. So certainly, plenty of growth opportunity there. And of course, we're nearly 70% complete now from when we first filed that portal a couple of years ago to pouring first gold in the second half of next year. So again, hot off the press, some of these photographs, GR Engineering Services doing the work for us. Concrete's going down on site, as you just saw. Steel's being put in as well. And one of the real important things we did 12 months ago was order all those long lead critical items as well. So all of those items are now either in Perth, or they're on ships from China coming down, or they're actually on site. So, we really de-risked our project by doing that. All of the underground work is being done by Develop Global, as I said, with Bill Beaumont and his Northern Star executives involved in that from his previous days. We're nearly 7 kilometres of underground development completed already, which is actually quite amazing. So we're 300 metres below surface. We intersected the first ore body Just recently we put that out to market. The second part of the ore body, it's a multi-zone ore body that we have. The second one will be happening shortly. We had one jumbo, we now have two jumbos on site, and the third one's arriving shortly as well. So everything is going better than what we actually forecast. We're over the moon with that. One of the things to take away on this slide as well is all the equipment that Develop are using is brand new equipment, and this is quite unique in the industry. Most equipment you'll see in photographs of mine sites are very old equipment. The advantage of having new equipment is that obviously it doesn't break down, which means that you can keep these pieces of machinery operating 24/7. And what it also does, it actually attracts really good operators. So we have some of the best operators in the world operating for us. And what has that done for us? Well, it actually means that we're advancing at an even quicker rate than what we originally thought as well. And I've got a slide to show you on that shortly. And what does that mean? That means that we can actually have a very large stockpile of high-grade ore sitting there on surface ready for either when we commission our plant, or we can in fact truck it down the road and toll treat it and actually bring money in and cash flow in before we even get into production. The camp is all complete now. We're very proud about this camp. It's a 350-person camp. It's designed a little bit differently to other camps. We've put it in amongst the bush, so it's a really nice scenic view, which is of course important because we have FIFO workers, fly-in, fly-out workers, and we want to make them feel comfortable to be like coming to site. The rooms are a little bit bigger than normal mine site rooms. We've got the latest Wi-Fi technology and a very large gymnasium there as well. So it really is about, you know, people's mental health, people wanting to come to site, people wanting to come up and work, and we've been doing that well. Another real standout about this project is because we're starting from scratch, we can put renewable power in there. And so we've actually signed an agreement there with Energy Developments, EDL. Some of you may be familiar with them. They do a lot of power over here on the east coast, but they also do a lot on mines over on the west coast as well. So we'll be doing 80% renewable power with wind turbines and solar and battery, and this will be the largest renewable power project for any mine site in Australia. And in fact, you know, we are actually on track and on a pathway to pouring our gold bars that will actually be carbon emission free as well. And I'm not talking in 2050 or 2030, I'm talking in 2026, so it's not that far away. And of course, this will be industry leading. So I've talked a bit about all the Tier 1 contractors that we have on site, but when you dive down into the actual team that we have, you can see there's some very, very well-known people involved here. People have built mines on time, on budget, and some of the big global mines as well. I won't go through them all, but you can see there, actually with Darren Strahler as our Chief Executive Officer who joined us earlier this year, who came across from the executive team of Northern Star, and obviously in charge of building this mine on time, on budget. And the other important thing to take away on this slide as well is that you know, we actually are really proud of the fact that we're 40% female participation in our business. And so, you know, typically in the mining industry, it's about 15 to 17% women employed in mining. We're at 40%. It's been like that for a while, and we're forecast to stay at 40%. And that's from the board level all the way down to people on site. The most senior person on site is a woman, and then through to the office in town as well as the executive management team. So we're very proud about that. We're located in Western Australia. This slide you're probably all familiar with. There's some very, very big mines surrounding us. In fact, we have Northern Star's Jundee project only about 50 kilometres to the north of us. We have their other flagship project, Thunderbox, about 80 k's to the south. Bronzewing, another famous mine, about 30 kilometres to the east. And we have Goldfields, which actually butts all of our ground to the south, and their Lawlers Agnew project, one of their major mines, is about 30 kilometres to the south of us. So, you know, these are decade-long mining centres, and we're hoping that Bellevue will obviously be a multi-decade-long mining centre in its own right. So zooming in on the ore body itself, this is a long section looking through it, and you can see the multiple loads that we have there and the independent mining faces that we'll be having. North is on the left-hand side of the screen there. It's very much open, so what you can see there is literally the only areas that we've drilled. It's all open to the north, it's all open to the south, it's open at depth. I mean, those mines I just talked about typically go down to about a kilometre or a kilometre and a half deep. We've literally drilled this to about 600 metres depth. We know it's open at depth as well. And really exciting, we actually had a discovery in the footwall and hanging walls as well, so we know it's actually extensive out into the east and west as well. And if you look around at this on the slide there, you can see some pretty impressive drill intercepts, very high grade. It's very consistent throughout all of these ore bodies. and of course the metallurgy is fantastic as well. And so we've created very good value for our shareholders over the years with the drill bit, and we continue to do that. We currently have 2 drill rigs turning underground at the moment. It's very cheap and cost effective for us. It's only about $17 an ounce discovery costs. You can see there, we're currently at 3 million ounces of gold at just under 10 grams per tonne, so very, very high grade. And what we've focused on for this last 12 months is really about converting all of those inferred ounces into reserve category, indicated category, and then reserve category. And you can see that reserves increasing. And that's our game plan at the moment. We put an announcement out recently on the grade control, and that actually correlated even better than what the original resource is. And I encourage everyone to go and have a look at that announcement. So you will continue to see this resource not only growing, but us increasing that reserve as well over time. And when you look at our production profile, year in, year out, and so for the first 5 years, as I said, we're averaging just over 200,000 ounces of gold a year, and currently about 1.8 million ounces over a 10-year mine life in our life of mine plan. But as I said at the start, this mill is currently will be doing 1 million tonnes per annum, but it can be very easily upscaled to 1.2 million tonnes per annum, and we'll see that happening very, very soon after first gold. And then if all goes to plan with that drill bit, converting further ounces into reserves and increasing that, you can possibly see this mill going up to 1.5 million tonnes per annum, which obviously will increase not just the mine life, but it will increase ounces as well, produced every year, obviously. And so, as I said, the underground contractor that we have with Bill Beaumont and Develop has been doing exceptionally well. We are at the first ore face. The second one will be happening very, very soon, and we look forward to putting that out to the market. It's very easy to see. You can see it in the photograph here. Nice quartz veins, very easy to pick in amongst basalt. So ground conditions are exceptionally good where we are. But one of the things that we did with having Bill Beaumont and his new equipment and the very good contractors that I talked about that work for him is that those meter rates have increased substantially in the last few months since they came on board. And so from our study work, we're doing over 65% increase in those production rates on underground development rates as well. And that's just with the one jumbo. So as I said, the second jumbo's on site, and the third one will be coming very, very soon as well. So we actually expect that to possibly increase on where we are now. And what does that mean? Well, it means that we can obviously move dirt quicker. We're actually doing it quicker than we thought and faster, which means that obviously we can stockpile that ore as well. And so as I said, we'll have about 200,000 tonnes of stockpile sitting there on the surface ready to go on day one, and possibly even be able to monetize that pre-production. So, I just talked a fair bit in the presentation about the growth opportunity, growth with the drill bit, which is obviously, the ore body's open, it's going to continue to grow. We're also going to convert those ounces into reserve category as well. You're going to see that plant increasing in size as well, using cash flow at a later date and increasing those ounces and increasing the mine life. And obviously using tier one operators such as Develop, who are bringing the ore out of the ground quicker than what we anticipated as well, bringing those unit costs down for us, and maybe being able to increase that production as well because of that. But this slide here is a very simple growth slide, in the fact that if you execute and do what you say you're going to do and get this mine on time, on budget, there's numerous companies that have done this successfully. And if you look at, we've picked out a selection here, some which you've probably, most of them, I'm sure you will know. But you'll see they average about 160% increase in their share price over the time of when they start pouring concrete on site to doing first gold, which is typically 12 to 18 months. And that's exactly where Bellevue is right now. So second half of next year, we're actually on track, on budget. In fact, as you've seen, we're doing better than what we've said as well. So it's a very easy value increase proposition is what we're saying there. So it's a great project to be at. There's certainly plenty of growth potential there, as you've seen, and we're going to continue to have those drill rigs turning and creating value that way. You'll see this project growing and growing over time. We're very proud of the fact that we're leading the industry on the ESG side of things with renewable power and the likes. And as I said, we're nearly 70% complete, and we're super excited to be on track, on budget, and on time for pouring gold in the middle of next year, or second half of next year, I should say. So thanks very much for your time. I will be at the booth, and I have some of the executive team with me as well, so please do come over and have a chat. Thanks.